Okay. Hello, my name is Essence Roberts. I'm a senior sociology major, food studies minor at Spelman College. And I'd like for our guest to introduce herself and her business.
Greetings, peace and love. I'm Tassili Maat, owner and executive chef at Tassili's Raw Reality Cafe, located in the historic West End of Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay. Could you begin by telling us what is your food philosophy?
Well, our food philosophy is one where we see ourselves as culinary alchemists, healing our people using food as medicine. And I say our people specifically because our focus is initially on the Black community. It's important that we recognize that as a people, no one is going to ride up on a white horse or a black horse for that matter and save us. So we've got to do it ourselves. And I am open to all people coming to the restaurant to eat and to be able to benefit from what we offer. However, I recognize that you got to take care of home first. And like all other ethnic groups that teach cultural pride and build their economic strength within their communities, it's imperative for us to be able to do that as well. So not only do we use food as medicine to heal our people, we are also using food to build the economics in our community by doing business with other African American business owners.
Thank you. I love that. Okay, so how would you describe the food environment in which your restaurant is located?
Well, we are located in the hood. The West End is actually a transitional area, and it's known for its cultural and artsy flair and spiritual flair, because there are a lot of different spiritual groups that are in the West End area. And as a result, it was important to me to be able to reach as many people as possible when I embarked upon this food journey. So initially, I recognized that as a raw foodist, I of course wanted to cater to people who ate raw food, but then I came to realize that they were not going to be the ones to keep my doors open, because raw food is 100% raw foodists and raw food purists typically make their own food, so they're rarely going to eat out. So I thought, well, maybe my market then is the vegan and the vegetarian, and there is a difference, folks. There is a difference. And in fact, I found that while they make up a large portion of my customer base has grown to be at least 65% composed of meat eaters, and the rest being vegetarian and vegan vegetarians and raw foodists. And I think the environment is one that is welcoming to all people who are seeking a healthy, delicious alternative to eating out that is going to make them feel good and know that they're making an investment in someone who's also making an investment in them. And so as a result, people feel comfortable coming. They don't feel judged. They feel like they can come and be fed not only physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually too, because we offer a variety of classes and workshops and things so that people can learn how to prepare food the raw way, as well as just gaining information about it, gaining information about how to truly thrive in this day and time. And we also offer yoga upstairs, and we have a couple of events, the Wonderful Wizards of Raw, where we showcase raw food chefs and have speakers come and talk about eating healthy. And then we more recently had the Natural Mystic Fair, which is like a natural healer's expose, if you will, of a variety of alternative healing modalities that people can become exposed to and experience. Yeah.
Okay. I've noticed that in the restaurant, you have the fridge with all the juices and smoothies, and I want to know who supplies those things, and how did that relationship and business partnership come about?
Excellent question. Well, we supply at least 60% of the drinks in our case.
Okay.
The others, though, come from other vendors. We have Abashaka with tree water beverages. Abashaka started out with me when I first started doing food 9 years ago. He was actually already doing it and set an excellent example. We have a partnership that has allowed his business to grow and ours to grow as well. We have other drinks in there that are done by our staff because we encourage entrepreneurship on all levels. And so we have some in-house vendors that are culinary alchemists in their own right, and they produce products such as the Good Lovin' drink and the tonics that are in there that you know, promote health and well-being on a medicinal level as well. And then of course we have the product, the H2 for Life water, which is alkaline water that has hydrogen in it, it has gold and platinum in it as well, and these minerals help the body, of course, to heal and to ward off free radicals and so on. We do carry an aloe drink and just a variety of things so that people can really explore what it is to drink healthy beverages and encourage entrepreneurship at the same time.
How do you think our society got so disconnected from our food system?
By design. What I call the death industry has promoted fast foods and processed foods to people who used to be producers. Now they're consumers. The migration to the cities, of course, cut people off from the land and from nature, and they became dependent on grocery stores. And anytime you're dependent on a grocery store, you are no longer a producer, you're a consumer. Unfortunately, among African American people, we have tended to want to disassociate ourselves from even growing food or even being associated with the land because of painful memories of slavery. So the PTSD, the post-traumatic slave disorder, that is still very much apparent and rampant among our people, has to be healed in order for us to reconnect with the land. And truly, in reconnecting with the land, that heals. You know, the land will heal that condition in us, because when you're truly growing your own food, in charge of your own water supply, then you are in fact having the directorship over your life, over your destiny. When we are eating the processed foods and the fast foods, then in fact we are not giving the body the maximum nutrition, which causes the body to crave more. And then all of the habits, the perverted taste buds we start to have cause us to have these unnatural cravings for foods that or substances that really aren't even foods.
Right.
You know, and as a result, a vicious cycle begins, because now you have childhood obesity, you have rampant diabetes, you have all kinds of cancers going on, heart attacks, aneurysms, high blood pressure. All these things are primarily diseases that come about as a result of a poor diet and lack of exercise, and the stress that comes from living in an urban environment. So when you have a situation where people have for generations now, I think McDonald's has been around for at least 4 generations. When you have that as a mainstay, where that's all the person knows, in fact they were gestated in the womb on some McDonald's, you got people who aren't even really fully themselves because they're numb, they're dumbed down by the additives, preservatives, and chemicals that go into the animals, and then they go into the foods, the denatured foods that they're eating there in McDonald's. And McDonald's isn't the only place. I mean, I could name Coca-Cola, which, you know, if you pour Coca-Cola on your car battery, it'll clean off the corrosion. And so just think about what it's doing to your system. But the foods do not encourage thinking. In fact, they dull the brain. so that people then are on automatic pilot for self-destruction. That means they end up going to the doctor, having to pay for health care that they can't afford. They are then hospitalized, they're on all kind of meds, so the pharmaceuticals are making all kind of money, the insurance companies are making all kind of money, and so then people just end up working to pay bills for their health challenges before they die. And they don't get a chance to enjoy anything. I mean, think about it. When you hear these commercials nowadays, they'll start out advertising something for sinuses, but then that thing will say the side effects are heart palpitations and a whole host of other things. And the side effects are far worse than the original sinus issue, which is usually just from them eating too much starch or dairy and not exercising, or maybe they have mold in their house, or dust or what have you. And then then they're taking the medication for the side effect of the heart palpitations, and now that says that medication starts talking about, and you can have an aneurysm or a heart attack, and so now you're taking a medication for that, and before you know it, you're on 10 medications for your medication's medication. What kind of life is that? It isn't. It's just surviving, and barely above existing. So, the climate of food is one where we have to be able to recognize the difference between what is food and what isn't food. We have to be able to create environments that are nurturing on all levels. And the Raw Reality is a place that's a collective vision, materialized, where people can learn. And like I said, be fed not only physically, deliciously, but they get their mind and their soul and their spirit nurtured at the same time.
Thank you so much. I love that. Okay. What do you feel as though draws customers into Tassili's Raw Reality?
Well, a number of things. Usually, people that are seeking to be healthier are looking for a variety of ways in which they can achieve that. You also have people who are just foodies. They just want to try, a different kind of food because they enjoy it. You also have people that want to support Black-owned businesses. So they may be hardcore meat eaters, but they come because the food is good and they're supporting a Black business in the community. You also have people that are drawn because it is a community-based business and they've invested in the business from day one. And so they can see tangibly where their money is going, And ultimately they all come because the food is really delicious as a topping. The main thing is that it is healthy, it's nutritious, and they feel better when they eat it. Yeah.
While you've been talking, I've really just been sitting here staring at your skin, and your skin is so just beautiful and flawless and clear.
Thank you.
Yes. Okay.
Well, yours is too, though. So, and you do your best to eat healthy as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So I think a lot of times when we're eating healthy, it reflects because there is a glow, an inner glow that is experienced by others, and a lot of times we're not even aware of it because we're just us going through our day. And I know there could be some days where I'm just feeling like I'm looking really bummy or I'm not, feeling my best. I don't have those days too much anymore, but, on occasion I might, and somebody will come up, I'll be in the grocery store and somebody will come up, wow, you're just so beautiful, you're glowing, you're radiant. And I'm looking like, who are they talking to? Because I'm feeling like, whoa, right now. And it has happened so often when I'm in that space over the years that I began to see, well, wow, the inner glow thing is really true. Even when I'm not aware of it, it's happening all the time, And it's a blessing to have that recognized, because then it is an external validation for the internal validation that we are already getting just by virtue of the fact that we feel good,
Awesome. Okay, and my next question is, how do you feel as though Tassili's Raw Reality has created a community, or do you feel as though it's shaped, has it been like reshaped within like the community that already existed prior to it being here?
Yeah, because the Western community has definitely already been here. It has nurtured me. I've been here in Atlanta going on 29 years, and I would say the majority, like 95% of the time, I've been here in the West End by choice, even though I've lived in other parts of the city, and I appreciated them. But there's something about the West End. There's a soulfulness here, an essence that who feels it knows it. That's all I can really say about that one. And I do know that the raw reality has created a revolution of sorts in our community, and maybe even, if I can be so bold as to say, the southeast part of the country, because it has made it cool, it's made it sexy, it's made it delicious to be vegan and to be healthy. Because again, like I said, so many people are not vegan, but they are aspiring to be. And just for point of clarification, you know, someone who only eats meat, who eats fish flesh, they're considered to be pescatarians. Someone who's a vegetarian is a person who eats no animal flesh, but they will eat eggs, they will eat dairy products. And a vegan consumes no animal products or byproducts at all. Some vegans are very strict and won't even eat honey. Your raw foodists tend to be people who are always vegan and who don't cook their food. I myself am 95 to 98% raw, and I chose not to be 100% raw because I live in an urban environment that gets cold, and sometimes I just want to have some soup or a stir fry or a veggie burger, and I don't want to feel guilty about it. You know what I'm saying? Because in life it's still all about the balance, you know. I think being raw is really, really the way to go. Certainly a plant-based diet is the ultimate way to go, even if you are still being what they now call a flexitarian, which means that you have about 75 or 80% raw, fresh fruits and vegetables as your diet. And then anywhere from 25 to 20% cooked foods. And then if you are that want to be that 5% that still eats meat, or want to have at least 5% meat in your diet, that would be where you would eat meat maybe 2 or 3 times a week, because you're honoring the body's natural cycle. So for fish, it takes the body 2 days to digest it. That's right, 2 days. For any other type of flesh, it takes 3 days. You're going to be waiting 3 days, okay, before it's totally clear out of your body. And the body's natural digestion process then will allow it to be totally eliminated, especially if you're eating the raw foods, because they're going to, 1, give you the full amount of nutrition, and 2, they're going to act like a Brillo scrub pad just going through your intestines and just cleaning you out. Now, if you're eating the flesh only 2 or 3 times a week, then that means that now you can afford to buy the best quality. That's your corn-fed, your free-range animals, and that are hormone-free, antibiotic-free, GMO-free, all of that. And so then your choices are healthier. So the flexitarians tend to be those who are flexible. That's where that's coming from. They are flexing, you know, meaning they can have variety too. But they are, again, like I said, plant-based predominantly. They eat the best quality, so that would be organic, non-GMO, no preservatives, additives, that type of thing. But they will allow themselves to have that variety. My thing is getting where you fit in. You know, I think extremes beget more extremes. So that's why I don't necessarily promote being 100% raw.